There are three things a gay always needs.
Craziest thing happened to me today.
We gotta know the tea. We gotta keep the tea. We gotta be the best friend.
Guess who I saw on the dating app the other day?
I'm so glad that phones cannot talk, because if my phone could talk, the secrets that it would tell.
Wow, I really was blessed with good looks. Like, look at me.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Good Day Gay. I'm Russell Ray along with my co-host Paulie B. What's up, Paulie B? How are you?
I'm good. Do I come for you right now? No, jokes.
Come for me,
No,
bitch. What did I do? And that's our episode for today, everybody. We made it to 1 minute and 3 seconds.
No. We really do come for you guys every week, as in, like, we bring this to you every week. I'm at the crack of dawn.
Yes.
Russell's working away.
I'm working away, bitch, and it is
bring it to you.
Look, my Aquarius horoscope said this month or today that may my wallet and my ass get fatter, and did. Thank you. So both of those things are happening simultaneously.
My ass is just
anyways,
fatter,
let's get into it. We are talking about Grindr, Sniffies, and Hinge, the holy trinity for the gays, the cream of the creme de la creme, bitch. This is where everybody goes to find their man, to find that hookup, to find that geolocation, who's someone who's dodging you. But we'll get into that. Paul, are you on any of these apps?
I'm on all three of them, yes. So I am on what's it called? I'm on Grindr. I am on Hinge. I'm also on Tinder. I think maybe for this episode, is Tinder and Hinge almost the same?
Tinder and Hinge is exactly the same.
Yeah. So I'm on Grindr, I'm on Tinder, I'm on Hinge, and I am on Sniffies, but I hardly use it. Like, I probably used it for maybe a month, and then after that, I was like, nah, I'm done with Sniffies.
Did you see? Oh, you might have not seen it in Australia, but Grindr just released a press release. They offered the looking now feature on Grindr, like how you guys have in Australia. The three little dots.
The three little
water dots.
the purple water.
Yes.
Yeah. So wait, that's in
that
the
is
US
officially
now.
happening now in the States.
We call that, that's the right now function. Yeah, right now. So if you click it, do I do a live demonstration? Wait, I'm not looking right now.
Show us.
But I'm not looking right now. So you click Grindr, and then the little thing loads. It's like loading. And then the second icon from the left is three water things.
Make me sweat.
So you click that, and then it says right now, and you say, ready, let's go. Am I doing this right now?
I hate that it says ready, let's go.
It doesn't. It says right now, let's go. Not maybe, not later. Find people who are looking to hook up right now. It's 9:44 a.m. in Australia. Who is looking right now?
So look, let's just break this down for everybody who's listening. So Grindr is the toxic, iconic, full of torsos and trauma profiles that say to read the bio, but nobody reads the bio. Everyone just looks at the photos. Nobody reads the bio. If you want somebody to come on Grindr to read the bio, go to the library, bitch, because nobody's reading the bio.
Well, this is my personal favorite on Grindr, where they're like, say more than hey, and then you go, hey, how's your day going? Like, hey, like what's happening this weekend? And then you get nothing. So these days I'm just saying hey, like F your bio. I'm saying hey to you no matter what. I don't care. Hey.
And Sniffies is like Grindr on meth and steroids at the same time, with maps attached to it, because it has your geolocation, so you can literally look at the precise location of where someone is at, up to the point of where the building might be located that they're in. If it's a apartment building, or if it's a home, like it's gonna show you where that house is at, somewhere on the street.
I think that like Sniffies adds the seedy layer, like an extra layer of seediness that do you guys say seedy in like the US?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think like Sniffies adds the extra layer of seediness that Grindr doesn't have, where Grindr says someone is like a kilometer away and you just go, cool, I know this person's in my vicinity.
Mhm.
Whereas he says you're a kilometer away and I know exactly where you are. Like that extra layer of seediness, like stalkerness, like, yeah, crazy.
Sniffies also has cruising spots.
Sniffies has the cruising spots, which,
Grindr
you know,
does not have that, correct?
Grindr doesn't have the snoozing. Grindr doesn't.
That's for the 30 plus.
You snooze and you cruise.
What you doing?
Oh my
Looking,
God.
yes, for somebody to nap with. Thank you.
Could you imagine if there was a dating app where you just find people to nap with? Like, hey, I'm a spoon, I'm a little spoon.
That's great.
I think I'm going to create an app. No one steal my idea.
Trademarked it. And last but not least, Hinge, the relationship one, allegedly, that talks about your personal experiences and really kind of sets the foundation for looking for a long-term partner. But
Yeah.
I'm also getting from Hinge, from everybody that I know that's on this app, is that it's really kind of just ran through. Like,
What do you mean?
it's basically like the MySpace version of Grindr, where it's just basically the same shit, and then it's just more an elongated version of a profile that everyone's looking for hookups anyways.
Yeah,
But it just seems more wholesome to do it that route.
Exactly. Like Hinge, Tinder has that professionalism aspect added to the profile where it's like me on Hinge versus me on Grindr. Do you know, like Grindr, I'll have my shirt off. On Hinge, I probably have my shirt on, but I'm wearing like something that shows off my like shoulders or like my ass. But the thing that I like about Hinge is like there's little prompts on there like that can you can set your profile up to really be able to express yourself through Hinge, and I like that about Hinge, like the little prompts on there. So, but you're right. Like at the end of the day, all of these apps are the same, can get you the same outcome, and some apps are better at others in getting things like a relationship versus a hookup.
You know, fun fact, I've never been on Hinge.
Should we create a profile for you?
No, I don't need one, but I'm just saying I've never been on Hinge because anyone that I've ever dated I'd met out while I was out. Just by chance.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've ever had a relationship start on an app. It's always just been someone I've either walked up to, someone who's either walked up to me, someone that I struck up conversation with while out at the bar, and then it just kind of progressed from there.
Yeah.
But I've never started a relationship on an app.
Yeah. I've started both of my ex-boyfriend relationships on an app, but I would say in terms of Hinge, Hinge probably picks up a market that Tinder doesn't even pick up. So I think Hinge picks up that extra layer of the market that potentially other apps don't. Recently, I did have a Hinge success story, or not a Hinge whatever. I met someone on Hinge, but I actually met them in person at a ice cream store. So this person like gave me my ice cream, and when I went to get my ice cream, our hands just like lingered, like, you know, they just touched for that extra few seconds longer than they should have touched for.
Ooh, was there like the gesture? You know what I'm talking about? The hand gesture that like
maybe in the tiniest, maybe in like the tiniest, like I'm not being too, you know, I'm not giving away too much, but there's like a tiny little gesture. So we got that, and I was like, thank you. Thanks, and walked away. And then like a few days later, I get a match, like someone liked you on Hinge. So I opened the profile and it was him. And I was like, hey, did you serve me that ice cream did you serve me that ice cream? And he was like, yeah, that was me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, your hands lingered a little bit longer than they should have. And he was like, yeah, I know. So yeah, Hinge success story.
And now Paul is officially in a happy relationship and lockdown, and no one slid into his DMs.
No, continue to slide into my DMs.
We actually have a special guest today.
Yes.
Someone who is Gen Z. We love a good Gen Z moment because y'all are outspoken. And actually my niece's best friend. So let's go ahead and give it up for Leo, not millennial, Leo the Gen Z, y'all.
Woo!
There he
Welcome,
is. Miss
Leo.
America.
Leo only
Welcome
eats.
to the party, Leo. How are you feeling about this topic specifically?
I don't know. I've never, just kind of nervous. I've never really spoken out loud, especially on the internet, about like any of this stuff. So it's just kind of like, oh, okay.
Well, let's rip the band-aid off. Are you on these apps? Are you on Sniffies, Grindr, and Hinge? Are you on Tinder? Are you on Plenty of Fish? Are you on Christian Mingles, Farmer Meat?
Okay,
What is
that's
it?
what's
Farmersmeat.com?
it called?
He
I
doesn't know
don't-
any of those because he's too young, Russell.
Me, it's kind of like an up and down. Like I can't say I'm right now. I'm not active on it, but
Okay.
like for me, I'll say like in 2 months when I see a good couple, I'll be like, ooh, I need to get on the. And
Wait, so
then
when you
Wait,
say that you're
couples?
not active on it, okay. Oh my god, my
Wait,
mind's
I wait. If you see a
going
good couple,
crazy. Yeah.
no, like not couple, but like I just see like a good couple out there, like not on the app.
Like in the
No.
market, like there's some
Yeah,
good
I'm just like,
pickings
oh,
in
I
the
need that
market.
for a second,
got
and then
it.
it'll be like
Okay.
2 weeks, and then I'll be over it. Like I'm never.
Well, I know we
permanent-
mentioned when you and I were texting, we mentioned about what it's like to date in. Yeah.
Yeah, in my area, it's more like, how do I put it? Like it's more conservative people, or like more in the area where it's like older men that barely realized they were gay, but now they're married with kids.
Wait,
Oh
wait.
my God!
You
Like,
know what I mean?
Can we
let
just
me tell
clarify
you.
for the Australians out there first? So whereabouts are you, Leo?
Yeah. What?
Whereabouts? So
Leo's
like
45.
we need geography.
Leo's like 45 minutes to an hour inland of Los Angeles.
So like from like away from Hollywood or
Away
like
from
Yeah,
Hollywood.
away.
Yeah. So if you're
Oh,
going
okay.
from Hollywood to Palm Springs, Leo's right in the
Yeah.
middle.
Oh, okay. So if we're talking Palm Springs, that's when you say like the older men, like because it's
Yeah.
that
But you
demographic.
Yes. So Leo and I are from
Okay.
the same area.
Oh,
And what
okay.
that demographic is, it's a mix of suburban families who had kids, and then some of your kids ended up gay. And then there's like this big, there's like this conservative church that's trying to run the city, and then the rest of everybody hates them, which I 100% I miss Sonia Shaw. She can kick rocks. Nobody likes her.
Oh my God.
I will say it out loud, and I will continue to say it. I think she is a travesty to that city, and I think she is an embarrassment from what it is to be a parent. And if you're not willing to accept the LGBTQ community, you're not ready to be a parent. Because if your child comes to you and lets you know that they're gay, bi, or lesbian or transgender, then you should be able to wholly love them without any repercussions or without any limitations. So let that be said, and please let someone send this to her, because I would love to have a conversation with her.
Let's add her right now.
Okay, there's a reason I moved out of that area, because of all the BS that goes on and all the hatred that is spewed, but yet everybody is Christian. Anyways, Leo, let's talk about these men who got kids now who are hitting you up.
Like,
do we have receipts? Can we post their pictures?
Oh my gosh, of course you go there. Of course you go there.
Okay. I mean, I don't like, it'll be 15, 40-year-old men married, and there'll be like 2 guys my age, and then I find them both ugly. So I have to pick in between the uglier or the ugliest.
So does that make you want to leave that area? Like, because where I am in Australia, you know, it's not bad here in Adelaide, but the choices that you have here in Adelaide versus the choices that you have in Sydney and Melbourne, like there's definitely more quotation mark attractiveness in Sydney and Melbourne than there is in Adelaide. So like, does being where you are make you want to leave, I guess, like for dating wise? Or
I mean, kind of, but then also no, because like when you're just going out in my area, like you could like see that there's people of me, like just the gays floating around. But
Yeah.
I guess in this area, it's more like everyone's more reserved in dating because like the amount of gay couples that I see in this area, it's very limited compared to when I go out to LA or when I go
Mhm.
anywhere in Anaheim or whatnot. Like
Mhm.
anywhere on the West
Mm.
Coast, it's a lot more apparent that there's gay culture out there compared to right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
there's not even a club in like a 20-mile radius from me. Like that's how
A good club? You don't go to
Wow.
340 anymore? Does no one go there?
it's like the one in like off of Mission, like in Montclair.
The one in Pomona.
Yeah, that's closed.
They
Yeah,
closed that? Shut up. I started my nightlife career there.
really? It's like been gated up for I think since COVID.
I am shook that all right now. Well, that's news to me.
Yeah.
Would there be anywhere
Shocker. Sorry,
else
guys.
that you would want to would there be any other area that you would want to move to? Like, are there any aspirations to get out of your city?
Um, Not really. Like I enjoy where I live. It's just
Mm.
like I would want to settle here. Like
You would want to
I don't
settle there.
yeah.
Okay, interesting. So what is your expectation if if you meet somebody on one of these apps outside of the area and and something does happen, but they live, say like they live in my area in Long Beach, then how do you navigate that?
Yeah,
Oh, I
because
just
that's
don't
what I
go.
was. You just don't go,
You say you
because
just
then
don't
that was
go?
what.
I wouldn't go that far. Like to me, like it's just like not like for a hookup at least. Like I don't think
No, no,
that's
no,
worth
not a
it.
hookup. Like if you were to find a relationship,
Yeah,
then you would consider leaving the area.
yeah, most
Okay,
definitely.
let's dial back to the hookups.
Okay. Yep, let's
What
sound better.
is your what is your what is your radius that you're willing to travel for a hookup?
Mm, I say like 7 to 8 miles, I think.
Okay, so like
7 to 8
another city
miles.
over.
Yeah, just a city over.
And
I just need
like
to do the conversion to
just to
kilometers.
give everybody in Australia a perspective of how this is. Um the Inland Empire, the cities are rather big. So when you're talking like another city over, you're going to another big suburban city. It's not like not like where I live in Los Angeles, where well, I mean Long Beach
Yeah.
is humongous, but like you have small sub cities in Los Angeles that you can just kind of move over to the next city or areas. And in
Mm.
Leo's area, it's like one big city, the next big city, Rancho Cucamonga, Ontario. So like if you're going north,
Yeah.
south, east, or west, there's Corona below you, there's East Vale to the right of you, Rancho Cucamonga to the north,
Yeah.
Upland, and then Pomona to the left.
And
So
see
when we're
that.
talking about 6 miles,
Yeah, see, and because Australians use kilometers, I just had to do the conversion. So that's about 11 kilometers for the Aussies out there. So when you asked that question for Leo, I was thinking, okay, how long would I travel? In Adelaide, I probably travel by car like, yeah, 11, 12 kilometers. But in a place like Sydney or Melbourne, people refuse to go for a hookup that's more than like a kilometer away, just because like the density of the city in Melbourne or Sydney are so dense. Like
yeah.
you don't need to travel more than a kilometer to find a hookup, if that
New
makes sense.
York is the same way. No,
Yeah.
no one's getting on a train to to go from Washington Heights to Hell's Kitchen. It's just not gonna happen. They're gonna walk maybe like 3 blocks and be like, because you
Look,
have about 1,000 gays per tower.
and
That
maybe if you're an Australian visiting the country and you're staying with your auntie in New Jersey, then you're going to travel from New Jersey to Brooklyn. Like just maybe if you're an Australian that's traveling, like maybe,
just by chance, it just in case. Going back to Leo, is there a specific app that the gays of Gen Z favor, and why is that? Because like the millennials favored Grindr, obviously, and then Grindr got sold, and it has nothing but commercials. So now either you're buying it or you're moving over to Sniffies.
Or you're saving the king.
Oh, I haven't. What's it called? I'm pretty sure it's still Grinder because I mean, I only use the first two, Grinder and Sniffies. And one thing I will say, Sniffies is definitely more older men, but like every once in a while, you would find like people my age. But for Grinder, it's a lot more people my age. that I see. Like there's still a mix of it, but then also like you know how on the apps like you have an option like choose age differences or like the age amount. There's much more variety in Grindr, at least in my area. Like
Yeah,
for
Interesting.
Sniffies, it's a lot more like empty because or
because
I
they're
guess
because they're
but then I
DL,
also
like on Sniffies, they're
also
down
because
low.
I'm sorry?
Because on Sniffies, they're down low, like they're anonymous. They don't want to be known.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
There are a lot of in the closet individuals in Leo's area, and I will say that one of my best friends knows this from experience. You'd be surprised what type of individuals are hitting up people that are down low and how many kids they got. But do you have a preference in which app? It seems clear that Grindr is your preferred app.
Actually, for me it's Sniffles because for me at least
Sniffles.
it's easier to find people there. And I get
Okay.
more
Oh.
responses from there. For Grindr, I could text like 20 guys like, "Oh, like hey," and nothing.
You know what though? I've experienced that too, where I'll say hey to someone on Grinder, nothing. I'll say hey to the exact same person on Sniffies, instant responses, like instant. And
Yeah. But then I also
Interesting.
think it's because of how each the apps are on what you could like display in pictures because for Sniffies you could post anything you want.
you could also have no photo, like literally nothing,
Exactly.
any photo. Yeah.
Like for Grindr, it's just like face pics or it's just empty. And I feel like for like a hookup app, I feel like it's more beneficial just to show what you got because like I mean that's the whole point of the app anyways. So like why are you gonna wait until and introduce yourself? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
So
Yes.
then I've got a question for the children of today, the Gen Z.
Not the children.
I've got a question for the children of the day. Because I think I've been noticing that maybe here in Australia, say the Gen Z, they're definitely more open to dating and less hookup culture. That's what I've kind of noticed through talking to Gen Z is like here in Australia. So then is that similar, I guess, over there in the US? And also like why aren't you on Hinge or like on Tinder? Like is there a reason why you don't want to be on Hinge on Tinder? Are you just more into the hookup culture or you don't want to date? Like
for me,
what
I'd rather
these days?
like I'm not like a dating person. Like I've never dated anybody, but I
Mm,
would rather just get into dating than just hooking up because hooking up they usually end up like either blocking you or like anytime you try to meet up again that you like them, they just like end up being sluts or whores, and that's like their main app. So you know what I
oh,
mean? Like you can't get attached on those apps for anything because like you can't like you know what I mean? It's just meant for hookups and like some people who want to find more within those hookup apps, there's not much game to play.
So
so then
do you feel like you're less like you're more inclined to be an attachment type versus detaching from a situation?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So
Paul,
then
what were you gonna say?
how do you if you want to date someone and you're not on Hinge, like how do you find those dates?
It's personally like I just use there's this one called like Chispa and
Oh,
it's like a dating app, but specifically only for Mexican people or Latino.
I was gonna say that.
Shut
Chispa,
up.
yeah.
I love this. Wait, what is it called?
It's called
Chispa.
Chispa.
Interesting. Hold on. Let me look at the app store. I love
It's really,
this
and
because
then
I
it's
feel like
everyone. Like it isn't specifically just for gays, but it's like just anyone, and you just put your preferences.
So friends even, like you can make friends on there.
Yeah, they have a friends option as well.
I feel like that's being marketed a lot lately too. Like, wait, what was that? I
Like
feel like
your culture, like you date your within your own kind.
oh my
as in like
god,
a
come on, cheese bar, cheese bar. Look at Leo give me the cheese man, cheese bar. Yes. We're gonna
I
have
feel
all
like that
kinds of
won't even
Mexican
be.
friends.
I wonder if that's even in the Australian store.
It should be. You want me to send it to you? I just
Uh,
found it.
this is Australia. Where are the Latinos here?
You know, look, Paul is taking Spanish classes and he is very good. Leo, do you speak Spanish?
Yes.
There you go. Now, Paul, you have someone to practice with. Um,
Yeah, see, I don't think this is on. How do you spell it? Because I don't think it's on here.
CHISPA.
That's exactly how I spelt it. And yeah, it's not on the Australian app. So no to Australia.
Dang.
And
It's
then I know
ranked
there's
number
also
31 in social media apps on the
Oh.
App Store.
Cool. All right. Well, I know what I'm downloading when I go back over there.
Look, another reason to move to New York.
Yes.
Do you feel like this next generation Leo is more picky about what they want on these hookup or dating apps, or do you feel like it's more chaos, like this just more unhinged and whatever goes flies?
I feel like it's a mix of both because when you're like on those like hookup apps and it's like 40 to 50-year-old men, they're like, hey. And then
Oh.
whether it's more like people my age, like I'll just because for me, I have a plain profile because I don't want people in my area to know like who I am because like
Yeah.
especially in this area, there's like a bunch of people that will literally just like go on those apps and like find you out and then like post you and whatnot.
Mm.
Like
Mm,
Are
that's my
you
big
are you
fear.
entirely out, or are you still not entirely
I'm
out?
entirely out.
Okay.
yeah.
But like
If
if I
you, yeah. I was going to say, if you moved cities, would you then be out like on the profiles? Like, oh,
yeah, most definitely.
okay. So yeah, it's like where you are kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
What
Like for me,
what drove you to get on the apps?
what drove me to get on the apps?
Yeah.
The do?
I honestly don't know. Like I think it was just like TikTok influencing it.
Okay.
Mm.
And then when I became of age, I was just like, oh, let's do it.
But
See, that would be the biggest thing then, because the Gen Zers love TikTok. So wow, TikTok really has an influence into like where people are, like the apps that people are driven to. So yeah, that's insane that you said through TikTok influencing it.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
Where for us, no, for us, it's literally just like, where else are you gonna go? Like it's Grinder or nothing.
I feel like for us, it was also like
We are old, Leo. Like you
there
have to remember,
wasn't a
we are
lot
old.
of there wasn't a lot of gays that were out at the time, or if there was, it was very minimal, and you really didn't know anybody and who they were. So you went on the app so you can find people that you had stuff in common with.
Mm, mm,
Um, and Grinder went from, well, Tinder kind of went from meeting up and like making friends to then transitioning over to now you're like leveling up and you went to Grinder, and now it's okay, like this could it's kind of like datey, kind of like not datey. If something happens when you first meet up, yes, but it also like you can go out to eat and or grab a drink or whatever. And then Grinder also went through, in our area, Leo, Grinder also went through a trans phase where it was a lot of trans people were coming to the app because there's not really a safe space for them to go. And
Yeah.
so
That's what I
then
sorry to cut you off, but like one of my friends who she is transgender and like she kind of explained to me like that was one of the few places where she can actually go to like find like hookups with
mm,
people like
exactly.
because you can't just go up to a bar and just like start flirting with the guy, but they don't know that you're
mm,
trans.
Yes.
mm.
But like you want them to know, but in going to that, she told me that even straight people go on those like hookup apps like Grindr and
Yeah.
Sniffles solely just to find transgender women.
Yeah, and they make it clear on
Yeah.
their profile as well. They say
Yeah,
only
where they're like it's like
seeking.
femme only or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah, they make it clear on their like CDs, femme only, or trans girls. Like they literally make it very clear. And I was like, oh, I wanted to say hey.
I know, right? Those are like the only types I want, and then they're like, "Oh, sorry, femme only." Oh,
Dude, what do you
okay.
consider yourself?
Myself?
Yeah. Like, you know, profiles are like a mask top, otter, bear, twink, twunk, like all of these things. Like, what do you consider yourself?
What's your
Because
demographic?
For me, I don't know like what I am because for me, I have body image issues, so I just put average and that's it. Or I just put, or I'll just put because mainly for me, I like masked men. I don't like gay people that look like gay people. You know what I mean? Like I
okay,
want them to look like a grown husky man, but not like husky bear. Like I just want them to look like a clean, like well sophisticated man that reads books.
Oh my
Like
god,
you know
so
what I mean?
wholesome.
But like
Oh
that's
my
what
god.
like that's basically like what I search for and like what I would give off, at least in my persona.
I think,
Okay.
yeah, I always think of it as like energy. Like, are you looking more masculine energy or like feminine energy? So, for in your case, Leo, you're definitely after more of that masculine energy in terms of look and vibe as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Where do you find more of that specific type? Is that popping up more on Grindr?
I would say sniffies. For
Mm-hmm.
me.
Sniffies.
Mm.
Do you
Because
have an go ahead.
for Grindr, I feel like it's more for openly gay people.
Mm.
Because for the most like the more mask type of people, they're usually like DLs, like
Mhm.
and they're more like mask for mask that aren't fully out yet. So they give off more like masks than like just like I guess like an average gay person. And at least for me, that's what I'm more attracted to. So that's where I would find more. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm. I think like, well, one thing that I liked in our notes was like the starter pack. So, you know, because I think that one of the biggest differences between, like you were touching on, Russ, like Hinge and Tinder is definitely dating versus Grindr is and
Yeah.
Sniffies is definitely like hookup. So, like when I think of Grindr, I think of three things, right? So Grindr, I think of one, no expectations; two, mates, dates, and fun; and
Yeah.
three, hey. Like those are the three, like just a singular, hey. Like those are the three things that I think of when I think of Grindr. But if I were to give like my Grindr starter pack, I would be like literally have no expectations, but still know what you want so that you know what you're looking for. Like for
Mhm.
me, I don't say mates, dates, or fun because I don't need any more mates. Like I literally say dates or fun. You know, and I'm open to seeing where that takes us or seeing where that goes. Um, and you know, as always, like face pick, like have a face pick on Grinder. Go back to our episode on like what a face pick is because definitely do that. And I think as well, like don't have any of those AI photos or like a photo from like
Oh
Cringe.
my god, I've seen those, and I'm like, I
ah.
would just
Cringe.
tell them, girl, we know, we
And
know.
it's literally, it's like, okay, if you're going to do AI, like find something better than that. Like whatever you chose, like have something better than that. And
At least
also
pay
with
for the good
Grinder,
AI.
pay for the good AI. And with Grinder as well, like especially on this latest update that they've done, like the taps have been coming through better. So check your taps because you never know which hottie is going to tap you, I think. Do you know what I mean?
That's another thing too. I know on Grindr, it's a lot of like, I don't check taps. Like, what do you mean you don't check taps, bitch? Like,
I've found people that have tapped me, so I've looked at their profile and I've gone, oh, they won't be into me because you know they don't look like they would be into Asians. And then I
mm.
check my taps and I'm like, oh, they tapped me. Hello, tap in. They tapped me. Yeah, that's my Grinder starter pack. I don't know. What do you go into Grinder like? What mindset do you go into Grinder with, Leo?
I mean, for me, I don't do face pics. Like the way I do it is I
You
have
don't
a
have a
face.
face pick?
The way I do it
Oh,
is if I find a guy that I'm personally attracted to, or just like down to do it with, like I would just be like, hey, and then I'd send all my pictures like through the messages.
you're a blank
'Cause-
profile. Do you have stats on your profile?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm.
So like that's
Yeah.
kind of how I do it, just to play it safe and also just to text the people that I want to text.
Got it.
Because the only
Sometimes
time
being a yeah. I was gonna
because
say yeah. You go.
oh, okay.
You
Because for the
go.
blank profiles, it kind of also avoids like all the people that I'm not really interested in too.
Mm.
Mm.
Even like the 40-year-old like married men, like sometimes they still hit up, but it's a lot less than when I did have like some pictures on there. So
Yeah.
that's why I do
Yeah.
it.
Well, I was gonna say that a blank profile also picks up people that might not actually message you. Do you know what I mean? Because they're looking for something for anything, and so like they might just click on every single blank profile and say, "Hey," but then you might meet someone that you would have never met if you had a picture.
Mm,
That's
I
what I've
see.
noticed with blanks.
Do you have a difference in age range when you're on one app versus the other? Does that make sense? Like, is
No,
there
like I personally, for me, like I think my cap is like 20, I'd say like 22, 23. But like,
oh you're out?
Well, I was about to say, like, this is my next
Gay
question for the
death.
children. Gay death. Hey, bitch, you're out as well.
That's to you, bitch.
Well, this was going to be my next question for the children of the day. Like,
yep,
other than-
adults, student, children. Yep, that's what we're gonna talk about. Okay, that's fine.
no, we're just
no,
being
no, no,
we're
no.
being old and bitter. I'm being old and bitter.
The kid, no, the what is oh my gosh, what is he? What is the guy from Pose? Billy Porter calls him. Do they call them the kids or the children? He calls them the children,
The
right?
children, yeah.
Gotta let these children
Yes,
know
he
what time
does.
it is.
Such a good show. So are the Gen Zs not into older guys, or like is that a
No,
thing?
there's definitely like people that are into it. Like they're like people my age will only go for men that are like over 30 something.
Mm.
Like there's definitely people out there that only do that. And then like the older people also do that where they're like only looking for younger, like people my age.
What is the older people? Please let us know.
Tell us the age range.
What is the age range of the older people?
I would say like upper 30s to like 40s and up.
Oh, thank God we're
Oh,
below low 30s, bitch. We are the low
okay.
30s.
We're still in the low 30s.
We're
But you
still
know
in
what?
prime.
Even as someone within the low 30s, I definitely was, my age or up, or like 2 ages less than my age and up. But now that I'm like in my 30s, oh my God. Now that I'm in my 30s, I'm definitely finding guys maybe 25. I used to like disregard 25. Do you know what I mean? Because I was like, nah, too young. Whereas now these days, I kind of am almost finding like 25-year-olds attractive, which is, I thought I wouldn't.
What is it about that?
Am I in my daddy era? Am I moving into my daddy era? I don't know.
Because
I don't think,
to be
I don't
fair,
want to
when
be
I
called
was-
daddy. Not yet.
When I was
but am
25, I
moving
dated
into my
someone
daddy
who
era?
was significantly older than me.
But do you know what I mean? Like,
I
you
dated a
don't, like,
40-year-old.
but in your 30s, sometimes you might say no to 20s and you're only looking like 28 and above or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Because you're after that maturity. Whereas like now I'm finding like hookup wise, whatever, maturity's out the door. Like, oh my
But
God. why am I talking
that's
about
where I
this?
went. Well, that's where I was going with that question. Is a hookup age range different than someone who you could potentially be seeing?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah,
What is
definitely.
your hookup range versus what is your dating range?
For me, I still keep it the same.
Yeah, you go first, Leo.
Like I don't like I still don't want to be with my like with an older person, like either hooking up or dating.
That's
Like
just your
it wouldn't be
preference.
for me.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just your
No.
preference.
Gay death to all the 30-year-olds.
Yep. So for all you
You're talking-
that are over 25,
You know what? Let me just. All right, you're gonna look good when you're in your 30s because we're in our 30s and we still look good, Paul. Yes, we do.
Look,
all right,
if
we're
there's
aging like fine wine. Our
if there
ancestors
are
didn't.
no, but if there are 2 things that I've been like thinking about myself this week, it's one, like, damn, I look fucking good, and
Yes, you do.
two, damn, my body hurts because I'm fucking 33. Like,
I can't relate. My body is flawless.
maybe you need a.
well, it's not
lift
even
some
just
of your
like
weights.
how like people look, but it's also because like I'm just thinking it as is like, why is this 30-something-year-old man texting me who's 19? Like, did he find nothing else? You know what I mean?
Oh, you're still
Oh.
19?
Yeah, I turned 20 in August.
You turned 29. Okay, because I was like, wait, you
Yeah.
guys are the same age range. And Alexis is about to be 21 in February, but I guess we just passed February. That you know what? That is a thing too, because when guys used to hit me up and they were 50 and I was in my 20s, I would think to myself, what crossed your mind to make you think, oh yes, he's gonna be into me? Like, this kid is definitely gonna be into me. Like, and you were not up to par at all. Like, hair wasn't right, face wasn't right, body wasn't right, none of it was right. Okay. So when they would hit me up, I was looking like, in what world did you think that this was a smart idea? So that was the first one. The second one, and mind you, when I say body wasn't right, I'm not saying like you need a 6-pack and 8-pack. You need to have that. Me and Paul talked about this last episode. We like a thick boy. We do. We like someone who likes to go to the hometown buffet, have a little buffet, and have a little Crown Royal buffet, and have unlimited shrimp and stuff. Okay, we like that. We like somebody who can eat. But when I say like Frumpty Dumpty, this was Frumpty Dumpty, and then you get the ones that are really out there that are like in their 70s or their 60s, and you're like, where the hell did you come from, and what made you think this was a good idea? Because you're definitely not up to par. But I'm curious because I don't think I've ever met not one of my friends, not an extension of a friend, anybody who was like, oh yes, I must be with a 65-year-old man that is aging not well and who doesn't keep themselves up to par. Like, and is it that age where they just don't give a damn because you've been rejected so much that you're just like, I'm gonna just hit up everything that walks and see how that works? And it's like, well, that was a bad idea because now I'm
anything
mad.
that breathes, anything that moves, just anything at this point. Just even a stick.
Then, girl, they don't need Grindr, they don't need Hinge, they don't need Tinder. They need God and a therapist for those people.
They need baby Jesus because Jesus is not grown. Okay,
Jesus be watching. He'd be watching.
Baby Jesus is always watching, and baby Jesus knows that you're hitting up people that are half your age, and don't be doing it, little nasties.
My favorite is like when someone hits you up on Grindr and they're like, hey, like, you'll never be into me and you'll never, I'm not as attractive as you, but I really wanted to say hi and that you look really well. Like, do you know what I mean? Like when people come to you with that, like that reduced confidence and they're like, hey,
Yes.
like, you're not into me and you'll never be into me, but I just wanted to say hello. Like what? Just say hello. I think it's wholesome, but also just say hello. Like, I'll say hello back. Like, I'm a nice guy.
I might not. I might not. If you come at me like that, I'll be like, oh, you're really sweet. You have a good heart. Like, how are you?
Okay, that's kind of annoying on those hookup apps, or where they're like, hey, how's your day going? Like, girl, just send the pics. Send the pics and
yes.
Like, you know what I mean?
Look,
like, why are you gonna ask me what's my social? Like, you already know what we're here for. Like, why ask for more?
Actually, you know what though? I had that in my notes because I wrote here like Grindr in Australia versus the US. At the end of the day, like, it's all the same. I think the main differences in the use of Grindr depends on the size of the city. Like, small cities have similarities, big cities have similarities. Like, at the end of the day, Grindr is all the same everywhere you go, anywhere you go, anywhere you use it, it's all the same. But I actually found that in the States, more people had conversations on Grindr than they do in Australia, as in, like, they were genuinely like, hey, how's your day going? Like, how's your visit going? Like, where in Australia are you from? Like, people in the States wanted to talk more, whereas people in Australia is literally that, those memes that have been coming out lately where it's like conversation on Grindr. Hey. Hey. How are you? Good. You? Good.
Good.
WYD. Chilling. You? Same. Chilling. Horny? Question mark? Yeah.
It's on here.
Like, literally, like, that's literally, you know what I mean?
Leo's like, that's like 6 of my last conversations.
Do you guys want to see? Like, what's it called? There's also some people's bios where they just straight up say, like, don't just say hey. Like, I want to have a full-on conversation. Like, I want to get to know you. And I'm just like, those people are just like, you're doing too much.
But those are the people that don't have the conversations, because when you say to them like, hey, how's your day going? Nothing.
Leo, do you read the bio?
Yes.
Say the Bible.
Leo reads the bio.
Oh.
No, it's not a bad thing. We were just talking about.
Yes, we do.
Paul and I are like, we don't read the bio. We're not gonna read the bio.
Reading is fundamental.
I like to know what I'm getting into. Like, I don't just want
Nice.
to hop in there and then, like, yeah, it's a picture of a beautiful man, but what if it's a 50-year-old man? You know?
Mm.
Like,
That's true, but
I
don't
need
think
to
I
know
would
all the
consider that the
information,
bio.
and that's why I always ask for pics. So all the bio information that you give me lines up with the pics.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
I just want to read something that came through in my Instagram comments. So from Sukishiro_25. So when I was talking about more conversations happening in the States, so Suki has said, yes, it's more common in the States and Asian countries. So there you go. People in the States and people in Asian countries want to have conversations on Grindr.
Look, because Americans are lonely. They really are. America, like, I will say,
And Asians are the friendliest people.
having visited Australia and having been actually also in no, but I feel Asian countries, having also
Mhm.
been to Asian countries, they're just more conversational in general. They want to know how you're
Yeah.
doing. There's a lot of
Yeah.
respect going on there. In the States, there's a lot of isolation, self-isolation, mental health issues that, like, I don't have this type of friendship that I want. I don't have this, I don't have that. So they're lonely, seeking companionship. And then in Australia, like, everybody rolls in packs. Like, you all have like 15 friends deep that are all dependable, that are all gonna throw down money, who are all gonna
Yeah.
travel. And in the
Yeah.
States, you're like, yo, do you want to go to a trip to Mexico? And then 5 people will say yes, and one person will fall through. Will follow through and be like, the other 3 will be, or the other 4 will be like, I ain't got the funds.
Yeah.
What the hell? Why did you say yes then? And where is your money?
Where is your money?
But in Australia, you all will, like, we're gonna go to this festival and spend $500 on this package, and we're all gonna go in and we're all gonna buy drinks and we're all gonna get a hotel room because you all value friendship. I guess not like in that sense, not in a shady way. You all value friendship in a sense of more your work-life balance and your friendship balance are good in the spectrum versus in the United States. We have like this overly worked population who then has really a hard time balancing friendships because we're trying to make ends meet. So then you're just too tired to do anything, or everybody just want to be cheap. So there's also that.
Okay, well, now that you've said that, I've thought of another difference in Grindr Australia versus the US, where I think people in Australia that have in their bios, because sometimes I read the bio, sometimes like in the bio it says looking for friends, and I think in Australia like they're genuinely looking for friends, if that makes sense. So yeah, maybe that's another difference where, you know, Grindr in Australia, people do use it to find friends, whereas in the US, and in, I guess, bigger cities as well with more people, it definitely is more transactional and less friendship driven.
I also feel like the Australian population, y'all are just beautiful. Like, and it really has to do with your diet and the less sugar that you have in your diet. So your skin is good, your bodies are nice, just everything is just like really working for you guys. And then in America, I feel like everyone is always trying to level up or be better than there's that frenemy type of thing that's happening over here where it's like, I want to be the cutest friend in my group, and everybody in Australia is like, I'm just trying to be a vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's hilarious that you say that, because me and my friends, like, I don't have ugly friends. Like, if you're my friend, you're not ugly.
Bye. Moving on.
Low-key, yeah. Like, I
Going
look
to
at that.
Leo. Bye.
Oh, okay. Anyways, but like I realized that I don't really have ugly friends or like friends on the bigger end either. I just have naturally skinny friends as well. And I don't know if that's just because we're still like all young or if I just came out fortunate or whatnot. But like,
oh Lord, I got ugly friends. Ugly.
like,
Lord.
really?
Just kidding.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just kidding.
I don't know why you set yourself that standard, but okay. But like, anyways, like,
Starting
I
with
mean,
Paul.
like, even when I see them at their ugliest, like I still find like something beautiful like in them. But then also it's because my main like friend groups are mainly just women. and I feel like every woman's pretty in their own aspect. Even when you see like an ugly haggard bitch, like I still feel like they're still beautiful in some way. You know what I mean? Like they still have like, and I don't know if it's just the fact that they're women in general, or you know what I mean. But like
No.
for men, you could always find something ugly in every single one of them. Like even when they are beautiful, like I don't know. Anyways, back to you guys.
Interesting.
I'm just
No, I'm
laughing
just
at
kidding.
another one of
Any
my.
of my friends who are listening, you guys are not ugly. I always have to be the one who fucks around.
Of course not. Of course not.
Y'all look cute. I'm just the cutest one in the group. Okay, just remember that.
I'm just laughing at one of the comments in my Instagram live from MTM_V. I am the ugly friend.
Oh, well, shout out to
No,
her.
you're not.
Or him, or they, them,
Stop.
or who knows.
Shout
not.
out
So-
to the ugly ones. Yes, y'all are the real ones. No,
Oh my
Tap in
gosh.
in the friend group.
I want to get off of this.
Yeah,
topic.
we need to move. We need to move on. We need to
I
go
want
back
to
to dating apps.
move over to hookup horror stories. Leo, have you ever had a bad hookup horror story or a terrible dating story
Absolutely.
on one of the three? Tell us, what is it?
Yes.
So this was like still in my time of like finding out what my preference was, because I still didn't know, and like that's kind of why I did want to get on those hookup apps when I like first became of age to be able to get on those, because I was just like, I still don't know what I want. Like for me at that time, I was just like, I just like boys, TBH. So I don't know what I want. So I did like not just people my age, but also a little bit older, be like, maybe what if I want a daddy? And this guy was like 33, I think. And
Excuse the shit out of me, Leo.
But you know
Watch your
what?
mouth.
This guy didn't look like us. They didn't look like Russ and I
Absolutely
did.
not. The IE is haggard. Okay, we look good in LA and Australia.
I mean, he wasn't bad looking. It was just like whatever.
Just appease us. He didn't look good.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't ugly. Like he was up there. Like he was one of the pretty and the ugly ones. You know, if you know what I mean.
What? Yes.
Like he was the prettiest of
yes.
the ugly ones. You know
Got
what I mean?
it. Got it.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we hook up. We start making out. I'm like low-key over it because I'm not into it at all.
Wait.
Then,
Question.
What?
When you say you weren't into it, was it because of the kissing? Was the kissing bad, or you just weren't into it?
The kissing wasn't bad. It was just I just wasn't into him. Like when
Okay.
I think he glammed up his pictures a little bit, or he just had a really good picture, because I was just like I was just over it. And then like he wanted to have sex, but I kind of didn't, but I was just like, let's just go for it. So then we do, and like we start like I was like, slow the fuck down, bitch. So I start fingering him.
Oh.
And then tell me why I feel something. And I was like I was going at it, and I was just like and I just stopped. And I'm just like,
oh no.
and then he's like, what's wrong? And I'm just like, I took my hands out, I like scooted myself away, and I just stared at him. And he was just like, what's wrong? And he was like, I was like, can you take me home? I just said, can you take me home? And he was just like, did I do something? And I'm just like, no, I'm just not feeling it. Can I go home? Like, can you take me home? Because he picked me up. And I was just like so blown away. And he knew like I guess he knew that like something was, well, I made it very obvious that I didn't want to do anything anymore, because I literally put everything on. I looked at him. I was just like, can you take me home? And I stayed in the back seat. Like
gosh,
I didn't want to go up to him or see anything. And then when he dropped me off, I literally booked it. And I walked him on everything.
Oh,
and let me tell you, I used 2 loofahs that night. Like even though it was only my fingers, I did everything, because I was like, why is this nasty mother going on these dating apps and not even prepping? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
that is Oh Naur of
Like,
life.
literally,
That,
I think
that is a no.
And like after that, I didn't do it for like 5 months. because I was literally like so grossed out by it. I was just
Traumatized.
like, I never want to top everyone ever. I never want to touch any man's body ever. That's disgusting. Men are so gross. I'd rather date a woman because at least it would be clean.
And look, and you
And
know,
I'm just like,
as
like
as a Pisces
it's
sun
not
and
even
a rising,
because it's not even that hard to prep. Like it's
and-
not even that hard. Like everybody's done it. Like there's no way you didn't know, or there's no way you like were like, oops. Like
And
you're
look-
a 33-year-old man that's actively on this app, and the fact that you just like let it happen like that, like that's fucking nasty, dude. Like why would you like? And I know there's people out there that do like that stuff. Like,
and that's what I was about to say. Like there might be
there
fetishes
is,
out there,
like,
but you know,
I
let
think
us
it's
know.
nasty. They're like pigs looking for pigs, and I'm like, ew, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, block, 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 block.
Not pigs looking for
And
pigs.
But if that's what you're into, that's what you're into.
no, that's nasty.
Or
Okay,
nar.
Oh no.
well, you should be able to do whatever you want with sex and sexual activities, but fucking shit on my finger, like, I shouldn't. Like,
Dead.
if that's nasty, that's so nasty. Like, why would anybody ever be willing to do that?
Well,
Oh no.
Oh,
that was a great ending to this podcast.
hold on.
He's not done.
Arnar, he went to go get the guy.
He went to get the second loofah.
Thank you guys. I appreciate this award. I'm just gonna finish this.
That honestly is probably one of the top stories that we've had on the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
More props.
Arnar.
This other trophy has wigs on it, so don't mind it. So I'm just gonna put it to the side.
I love the trophy with the wigs on it.
Please go ahead.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness. Well, thank you for joining us today, Leo. Where can everybody find you on Instagram if they want to follow you, or if they're within your day, if they're within your age
Dating
range
age.
and live in the IE?
It'd be Leo Only Eats.
All right,
As
y'all.
it is
Head
on
over to
Crust.
Leo Only Eats. Y'all can head over and follow Paul. If please do us a favor, please like, share, subscribe, share our podcast with your friends.
Yes,
As you can
please.
see, we are unfiltered. Thank you, Leo, for being on here with us today. We love an authentic story and we love a good Oh Naur moment, and that was the perfect
That was an Oh No moment.
Oh Naur moment. And next week, who knows? We'll maybe talk about what it's like to be clean before you're heading over to get the deed done.
Please do a guide, do a tutorial, do a show me how, do anything.
We need the bottom's digest guy. Bottom's
Yeah,
digest.
everybody needs. Oh my god, have you ever seen that Nair guy?
Yes. And if
Oh my
anybody is
God.
listening to this, go on YouTube and look up Nair tutorial. Paul, just brace yourself before you watch it. With that being said, y'all, please let us know your worst of the three trinities that you or what is your guilty pleasure? Which app do you go to? Do you go to Hinge? Do you go to Grindr? Do you go to Sniffies? What is your worst story? Let us know and we will share it on the next episode. And with that being said, we'll see y'all later. It's been real. Good day. Bye.
Good day. Bye.